fairly unusual August cabinet meeting. We're also in the committee rooms rather than the council chamber, so you'll only have one camera. We're a little bit in the middle distance. The meeting now, as all our meetings are, is recording. This is a physical public meeting taking place in public in Hackney Town Hall. Thank you to anyone that's joining us on the live stream or watching back on YouTube. I really do appreciate both the members of Cabinet that are joining in the room and also those colleagues that are joining online and the senior officers online and in the room, because we've obviously organised the meeting at relatively short notice. Clearly those joining online are not present in terms of being able to vote on the items available for discussion, but as I say, I really do recognise your contribution and coming to the meeting. After the meeting takes place, obviously the decisions will be published as normal. I've received apologies for absence for Councillors Chapman, Councillor John Thomas, Councillor Mackenzie, Councillor Woodley, Councillor Marima. I note that Councillor Etty and Councillor Coburn Councillor Coburn was here, but Councillor Etty is firmly here, and the rest of us are in the room. Under urgent business, obviously the meeting itself is urgent to an extent, but under the legal definition of late items of urgent business, there are no new urgent items of business. Do we have any declarations of interest that aren't already declared? I don't think any of us are governors or parent or anything of the school in question. There are no exempt items for consideration. There are no questions, deputations received. So our critical item today under general exception is the granting of a 125-year lease over Haggerston School at Wayman's Terrace, London E28LS. I did just want to introduce the report and provide some context. So on one level, none of us want to be here, but obviously I'm really pleased that we are. I could have taken decisions using Mayor's urgency powers and reported them back to the next Cabinet meeting. I didn't feel, given the level of public interest in the academisation decision and being such a significant long-term property decision, that it was right to do that. So asked for a full meeting to be convened, and I'd say very pleased that officers at short notice were able to convene the meeting and Cabinet colleagues were able to join. I suppose there's four elements to this that you'll see in my introduction to the report. One is we have to take the decision today. For the reasons set out in the report and in the introduction. That is how the regulations around academies and their premises are set up. I think it's really important to note that, and I don't think it would be right to shirk our democratic decision-making responsibilities in Hackney and hand them back to government by not taking a decision in a timely manner. So not only are we taking this decision in public, but we're taking it in a timely manner, and we're retaining the ownership of that decision ourselves as a Cabinet, and I think that's really important to the mature democratic system that we have here in the borough. It goes into beyond that, the journey to academisation at Haggerston, and Deputy Mayor Bramble and I have been very close to those discussions, as have the senior leadership at the council, and especially Paul and his team. And I think it is with regret that we're seeing the school take the decision it has taken, but it has taken that decision, and within the laws of the land, they're able to take that in the way that they have, and we have to respect and acknowledge that. We put out a counter case extensively with the support of officers to the school through correspondence, meetings, and we weren't successful. And I'm sad about that. And I'm sad about that because Haggerston is such a fantastic community school. We have been touring the borough today for exam results day. When it comes to our schools, that's largely A-level results day, but not exclusively. And it has always been that huge proud moment to go and visit all of our schools during that moment, but to be visiting Haggerston and Stoke Newington and knowing that they're maintained community schools is something that we've previously enjoyed on A-level and GCSE results day, and it's no irony that this is all taking place in the same day. We were very proud to be at Stoke Newington today, which is staying with us as maintained school, and very proudly so. And I do thank the teachers, governing body and head teacher Zara for taking that decision. But as I say, we're here today talking about and it also outlines what our family of Scotland, which we're incredibly proud, also that wider look that Ofsted have. It recognises that we have continued to invest in our maintained schools and our academies, but especially our maintained schools in terms of capital resources, and what we recently invested in Haggerston. I noticed that if we fast forward to our meeting in September and the capital update that I've just signed off to go to that meeting, we're continuing to, even to the present day, invest in the infrastructure at Haggerston School. Now, an argument could be made that we're investing in the children of Hackney, not the type of school it is, and I, give 50-50 on that. But I do think it shows our commitment to our maintained schools. I think the final part is, while we're sad to be here taking this decision in this way, looking forward to the future, I hope under 1.9, we're absolutely united in standing behind the school, its staff, its governing body, the pupils, and wanting to be with them on this onward journey into CST and academisation, and maintaining those really strong links with the school as a family of schools in Hackney. And whether it's the Music Awards, whether it's our work around T-levels, as we heard today, our work on apprenticeships and Young Hackney, and all the other support we put in and around our schools, Haggerston will still be a jewel in the crown. And I know that its ethos, I hope, will stay the same, which is an inclusive community school anchored in our borough, and we'll be there to support everyone along that way. The final part, I said sort of 4 parts, was just around the recommendations. There's still some onward work to do. I know that Deputy Mayor Bramble and I want to be involved in that onward work as we sort of dot the I's and cross the T's, and some of that is around community access and just the final relationships with the school. But obviously we're delegating that authority here today, and that is part of the decisions that we're sort of taking, but that is really welcome. It's unfortunate that we're doing it in this way, and it's unfortunate it's happening, but as I say, we're mature politicians, we're going to take the right decision, and we want to also ensure that the school starts term as an academy in a way that they feel stable and supported from us. And that's obviously really important to their onward journey, and it would be wrong to stand in their way. So that's the introduction for me. I know Deputy Mayor Bramble also probably wants to speak, but again, thank you everyone for coming, and I'll hand it to Deputy Mayor Bramble.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, just to offer some of your sentiments. It is really disappointing to be here because so many parents chose that school because it's one of our community schools, and that's one less offer for our parents now to have. But I think you're right. The key thing is that we always talk about our family of schools, and there are different structures within that family of schools, and we have to respect that, even if we don't agree with that. We fundamentally disagree with a school wanting to academise, we absolutely do. But in saying that, when any school makes a decision, because those schools have our children, we will support every school through the decisions that we make, even if we disagree with it, because it's really important that we support any child going to any school within our family of school. We will always stand by that, and absolutely agree with the Mayor that we want to be instrumental in those conversations, that dialogue, because one of the things about community schools is community use. And it would be deeply disappointing to see a resource that's open to the wider community now lost to an academy chain, and that would be something that we would not want to see. So we would want to be strong advocates for the wider community in working with the school alongside that. And as the Mayor said, we've had discussions with the school. They've made a decision that we really disagree with, but absolutely now we cannot now be the stumbling block through this process because their decision has been made. And I think the Mayor's right. We as local politicians want to be part of the decision process and not advocate that to central government, because ultimately, no disrespect to the DfE, they don't carry the children in the community in their hearts, their mind, or strategically in the way that we do, because they don't have that knowledge. They don't have that local knowledge and local intel. And we're not just here to do the good and fluffy stuff. We're here to make those hard-hitting, difficult decisions, even when we disagree with them. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Bramble, really heartfelt as well. Is there anyone else that wants to come in on the report? If not, I didn't do it in my opening remarks, but I would highlight the consultation results for anyone watching at home. They're summarised in the report, so it wasn't just a sort of the administration representing the views of retaining maintained status. There were some strong views in the school community as well that we were reflecting. There is that onward journey and work. We do look forward to working with the school. The recommendations are there in 3.1, 3.2 and 3.3. Are we happy to agree the recommendations?
Yeah.
Thank you, and thank you for those that put together the report, and I hope that will allow us to, subject to call-in, be able to move forward on the timeline the school needs. Bear with me 1 second. Okay, thank you. So under item 7, delegate available cabinet meeting, I think we have 3 for noting, 2 for noting. So it's the Local Authority Housing Fund Round 2 report allocating 2.86 million. 3 million, and then the Britannia report sets out the changes to contractor relationship around our new contractor constructing the homes, but as there's no material change, the acting chief executive recommended inclusion for noting in the interest of transparency. So I think that's good, and we've done that because I know September is a busy meeting. So are we just happy to note those? Noted. Thanks very much. Item 8 would have been to exclude press and public. There's no need to do that. There's no exempt items. Item 9, there's no exempt urgent business. So I close the meeting with the next cabinet meeting taking place on Monday the 25th of September. It may be at 6 PM or it might be slightly earlier given the business that we have to contend with, but it will definitely be on the 25th of September. So look forward to seeing you all there. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the summer.